Jaden Smith sucks
He probably does.
at acting. And welcome to A Cast with No Name. We are your hosts. I'm Jay.
No, Matt.
This is episode 22. This episode, we will discuss Cobra Kai Season 5 because Pinocchio lied to us. But no, we'll cover, we'll talk about Pinocchio. We'll do a dual episode for that one once Guillermo del Toro.
There you go again. You're just great with the names.
Not even another first introduction. Once Del Toro's Pinocchio, stop motion Pinocchio comes out, and then we'll kind of talk about them both. And
all right, just call him Frank Del Toro.
Frank Del Toro.
Yeah,
I like that. Del's too. Frank Toro.
Yes.
Boom. That's his name.
There you go. So. Yeah. What'd you think of Pinocchio? Did you watch it?
I have not seen it.
You haven't seen it yet? Okay.
So I have looked at headlines. That's about it. I wasn't seeking out review information, but from what I could see, I hear it was a letdown, or not so much a letdown, but just more of a
of the same.
Yeah. More
of the same. I mean, Jay, at this point, it's just I think that Disney's just creatively bankrupt at this point.
Yeah. I think they think it's easy money.
And it is. I think it is. From a business standpoint, do you think it's a good, just rehash old IP and put new effects, new faces, kind of just...
I think it worked for Cinderella. Cinderella, I felt like was pretty good.
Did you like Beauty and the Beast?
No.
What didn't you like about that one?
The totally different, wrong cast for everybody.
Really?
Yeah, I mean... was it Luke Evans played Gaston? He did okay.
Yeah. That's right. You're not a big fan of what's her face?
Emma Watson?
Yeah.
I am when she plays Hermione, but I haven't seen her. Of course, to be fair, this is the only other movie I've
seen her in
other than Harry Potter.
Yeah.
A lot of the facial expressions she made looked very
much the same.
Same as that Hermione made. But I haven't seen Perks of Being a Wallflower. I haven't seen The Bling Ring.
There's a movie called The Circle with her and Tom Hanks. I haven't seen that one either.
I'm not a big enough fan to seek out Emma Watson movies. So, but I thought her singing was, she hit the notes correctly.
Right.
I mean, I'm tone deaf, so I don't know, but I feel like her voice wasn't as full
as like a Broadway star. Or something.
Yeah, she didn't feel as confident.
Not like God, what was her? Who did the voice of Belle? Because she did the voice and the singing voice in the original one.
The voice of Belle? Oh, I don't know.
I can't even remember.
You're asking me hard questions.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, it doesn't matter. But she, didn't have that.
Yeah, or like Judy Benson, who did Ariel.
Right.
And
I think it's Jodie Benson.
Jodie Benson.
God, Judy. What are you, autistic?
I am. I'm just plain. No, I'm not autistic. I'm just dumb.
Yeah.
But yeah, she did her own speaking and singing too.
Yep.
And but I think it was after. I feel like Aladdin, they kind of started going the other way to where I feel like they started bringing in other people to sing, because I know the guy who played Steve on Full House. He did the voice of Aladdin. I'm not sure if he sang.
He did not sing.
And
same with Jasmine.
Same with Jasmine.
Yep.
So.
And obviously, I don't think Jonathan Taylor Thomas did the.
The singing for
Simba. I don't think he did the singing. Pretty sure.
I don't know. I think it was Elton John in all parts.
He did. He did sing everything.
But yeah, we'll cover Pinocchio when Frank Toro stop motion version comes out, which I believe is December.
I believe it's darker too, so it's not.
Yeah, it's probably more based on the classic fairy tale, which I'm not familiar with that at all.
I'm not either.
I don't read fairy tales in my free time. I don't read in my free time.
You're such a liar.
Words are tough.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious to get your thoughts when you do watch it, the ending.
Jesus,
I'm
they
excited.
opened it up for a sequel?
No. I could go on a rant about it, but I'll wait.
Pinocchio Part 2, longer, harder.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Anyway.
He's definitely made of wood.
Yeah. He's all wood.
all wood.
Yeah.
Part boy.
But yeah, I just think they're just creatively bankrupt at this point. I mean, and that's, from a business decision, it makes sense to me. Yeah, you don't have to take that much risk from original ideas. You just kind of rehash it out, and that's what we're getting now.
Yeah, but and I don't know if they thought they were going to release this in theaters. I don't know what point they decided no, just Disney Plus, because that's not really a huge draw to sign up.
Oh, just for Pinocchio?
Just for Pinocchio.
Yeah, you brought up a good point. Like, you were skeptical of it because they didn't do the theatrical run.
Yeah.
That is a telltale sign, though.
It is.
Yeah.
Because obviously if they don't have the confidence to put it out in theaters, they're not going to want to spend that money to do that. But
because I think the Little Mermaid that's coming up, the next live action remake, I think that's got a theatrical release. I'm pretty sure.
I think it does
pretty
too.
sure.
Yeah.
So they're confident in that one.
Yeah. So maybe that one will be better, but I don't know. Of course, it was pre-COVID. They released, Beauty and the Beast, which was it was mediocre. Yeah. I've never watched the Lion King remake.
Right. I love how they call that a live action.
Yeah, when it's all animated. Me? Well, I think the backgrounds. Maybe.
No, come on.
But,
what a joke.
Yeah.
Did you like Aladdin, the remake? Did you see that one? No, not a fan.
It felt weird, probably because I grew up watching Aladdin.
Yeah.
And
that's what you know it as.
Yeah, and Will Smith. I don't know. I'm trying to remember. I don't know. It just felt awkward.
Yeah.
But those live action remakes as a whole, I feel what's missing is they're just duplicating almost exactly what was already in the animated film.
Yeah, beat for beat.
And when they add something new, it doesn't really bring anything to the story.
No.
Now Cinderella, the first one they did, that animated movie I think was only like 110 minutes, 115 minutes long. It wasn't
an hour and 15, you mean?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
An hour 15. It wasn't that long of a movie, but I felt that, and maybe it's probably because there was more stuff in the source material, but I felt like some of the stuff they added in that movie worked, to where it felt more like a full movie, and it felt different enough
to stand out.
But when they rehash the same lines, and they're even doing the same songs, which for that they have to. But I saw a little bit of The Lion King, and what I saw was the exact same thing as the animated version, just now with computer animation, with the lions looking.
It is the exact
real.
Same thing.
And I don't know. Obviously, Jon Favreau just got paid a shit ton of money to
do
it.
Yeah.
But it would be exhausting. Like having
I know.
make that much of a technical film, knowing there's nothing original about it.
I know.
And
well, maybe he got paid like just an obscene amount of money to where he was just, you know what, hey.
Yeah,
getting that money, baby.
Or do this, and then you can do Mandalorian,
right?
Or
something like that. Yeah.
So, because that came out before Mandalorian, didn't it? Like
no.
a ways or
Lion King came out before Mandalorian. Okay. Yeah. It was like I'm gonna say July 2019.
Yeah. So maybe there was a trade there to where.
Yep. If you do this for us,
you do
the Mandalorian.
Yeah, because starting off the MCU wasn't good enough.
Yeah. No shit. Dude, he should be. How much money should Jon Favreau get just for starting that off with a bang?
All of it.
All of it, right?
He should be getting bonuses every time.
Yes, Kevin Feige should just be worshiping at the altar of Jon Favreau.
Yes.
Yeah, but from a business standpoint, I get it because we grew up with those movies when we were kids. Now we're older, and we're gonna bring our kids to waste away 2 hours to calm them down for a little bit, and like, hey, I remember that.
Yeah.
Have some nostalgia.
Yeah, and it's my girls aren't into live action yet.
Oh, they're just strictly cartoons?
Yeah. So
yeah. My youngest is there too.
Yeah. So I can't take them to so live action, obviously, they're probably aiming for older kids.
Yeah.
With that stuff, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, well,
do you think if they see the live action version, the cartoon version, the animated version is just like just dog shit?
I could see that happening, but I think it's going to they'll just get used to it because my oldest would only watch Pixar computer animated or Disney computer animated everything.
Yeah.
The only 2D that she would watch would be like Daniel Tiger or something like that.
Gotcha.
And we would try and show her Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, and all. She wasn't having it, but then I think after a while she kept watching Frozen so many times and Toy Story so many times she finally wanted to watch something new. And now she watches, it's usually The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, or The Princess and the Frog.
Really?
Or Rapunzel's 3D animated. So
okay.
She's been watching that too. But yeah, she's been watching more 2D animated stuff. And what really gets it is the music is the reason why she likes it.
Why she likes it so much.
Yeah.
Bringing her back to the light.
Yep.
Nice.
So.
Well, sometimes, and most of the time, rehashing old IP is awful. But we're going to talk about something where they rehashed old IP and something beautiful came out.
Absolutely.
Something so magnificent that I love it.
And this, I mean, Cobra Kai does such a great job with that I was actually talking with my brother a couple of days ago, and because he watches it, and he wasn't as big into the Karate Kid movies as I was, and I made the point to him that Disney should hire Josh Harold, whatever his, and was it Schwartz? Maybe, I don't know. Jesus, John Hurwitz. Good God.
John Hurwitz,
and Josh Heald,
and Hayden Schlossberg.
Yeah, these guys know how to.
Yes.
Bring something to the modern age. They did such a great job, and it feels, I mean, the tone I feel like feels different than
the movies,
but they can kind of slip back into that tone, which they do every now and then.
Yes.
But I think Cobra Kai is probably the best iteration of taking something other than like as far as like making it into a TV show.
Yeah.
I mean, you had Top Gun this year, which did a great job bringing back Maverick and that whole story. But I think this is probably one of the best scenarios to where they just nailed it on all fronts.
Right.
And they could have failed so freaking hard. And the fact that they started on YouTube and it was good enough on YouTube that Netflix eventually bought it for more seasons, and then it became more popular after that.
Yep.
It's one of the few TV shows that it's like this and What We Do in the Shadows and Stranger Things. It's pretty much
those are your three that you roll with?
The three that I look forward to when they start coming up. And but yeah, let's get into Cobra Kai.
Yes.
Were you a big fan of the movies?
The first one.
The first one?
I have to admit, I've never seen the third one. Maybe I had back in the day, but I don't remember it. I've seen the second one a bunch of times, but I haven't seen it in a while. But the first one I've seen, I don't know how many times. It's been like hundreds probably growing up. Yeah.
Yeah, that is probably in the main five that I watched when – it definitely was in the main five that I watched when I was a kid.
Well, come on. I mean, it's an underdog story, and
yeah, who
didn't feel like a helpless underdog at any point
and direction and film direction by the same people who did Rocky.
Right. It's right up their alley.
Yeah, and it works so well for a kid of any age to watch that movie because anyone could relate to that, and even if they couldn't, then they just like the situation.
Yes. So this is like one of your top five like favorite like growing up movies where you just watched it all the time?
It was pretty. I watched this all the time. Crocodile Dundee, Goonies, Flight of the Navigator, Back to the Future.
Right.
And Outrageous Fortune. I think those were like the ones I just all
repeat.
the time. Yep.
You wore out the tape.
Yeah, and I remember when the third one came out. I can't remember if I saw it in theaters or not. I don't think I did. But yeah, it was.
Do you rank them like as they came out? Like obviously the first one's the best one, and then you like the second one the second most, and then the third one, or the 2 and 3 flop?
When I was younger, I liked the third one more. Just because like it felt newer. Like Karate Kid came out in 84. 84.
Yeah.
And looking at it, it looks like an old movie. It looks like it was shot on the same film stock as Rocky.
It does.
Like, it's very grainy.
Yeah.
And looks almost like it could be a 70s movie. The second one had a little bit of that look, but the third one, by the time it came out, it was like, 89, 88 or something like that.
It might have been 90.
90, and it looked more crisp. It looked more fresh. And but I had that one. I think I had all three of them on videotape, but it was the third one I liked a lot because I liked Terry Silver as a villain. I liked Daniel doing his kata routine. I'm just speaking gibberish to you. But,
yeah. I've only seen it once, Jay.
Yeah. Oh, the third one you've only seen?
Yeah, I've only seen that once. It probably I just don't remember it. Yeah.
So, but
I remember Terry Silver though. He's very unique. Like when I saw him in the show when he popped up, I'm like, oh, that's the guy from the third one. Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely played a very good 80s villain. Like he had the long slick back hair and like the super rich evil guy.
Yeah. It's kind of funny you talk about the graininess of the first one and then how it got crisper. I feel like this show from season 1 and as it progressed, like it got crisper. Like the production value, you know what I mean?
Production value and the situations just are batshit crazy.
Which
we'll touch on. But now looking back on it, I think 1 and 2 are very good movies.
Yeah.
Obviously they're the better ones, but yeah, I would rank them 1, 2, and 3,
1, 2, and 3.
In the order that they came.
What about the next Karate Kid? Would you rank it?
I've watched that. I watched it when it came out on video, and I mean, when did it come? 94 or something like that? I was like,
I've seen that more.
10 or 11, did you?
Than the third one.
I've watched it maybe 3 times and never had it on videotape. I always kind of watched it if it was on TV or something like that. It felt weird when I watched it because Daniel wasn't in it. And at that time, I wasn't really exposed to a lot of movies to where, one, I always thought it was weird when actors would change and play different roles, or same the role, different actor. Which I think a lot of younger people haven't even experienced, to where just the kind of jarringness of changing actors in the middle of a franchise. I mean, they did it in Iron Man and Iron Man 2 with, what is it? The guy from Boogie Nights.
I'm trying to
Hustle and Flow and
Terrence Howard and
Terrence
Don Cheadle.
Howard, Don Cheadle.
Yeah.
They switched actors there, but I mean, it was the norm back in the 80s and 90s, because you would get a really good first movie, and then you would get the second movie. Maybe the main actor would be in there. By the third movie, they're usually not even associated with it because it's a piece of crap, and they're moving on. I mean, some of the earlier exceptions would probably be the Superman movies with Christopher Reeves. He stuck with all of them. But so back when the next Karate Kid came out, it was a little bit jarring for me, to where I was like, oh, Daniel's not in there. And it takes place in Massachusetts or wherever it took place at. And I was like, that was weird. But I still enjoyed it. Michael Ironside I thought was great.
Yeah, he's always great.
I feel like, and the guy who plays John Kreese, I think, did a great job, and I can't imagine. The only other person I could imagine in that role would actually be Michael Ironside. So
right.
I think it's kind of cool that they got him. But
yeah.
But yeah. I mean, how did that rank for you? Did you enjoy it a lot? You said
I watched it a lot. Yeah. Again, it's another underdog story. I thought Hillary Swank was fine.
Mm-hmm.
And, when I was, 11 or 10 when it came out? So, and I loved karate. So, any karate movie. Like, have you ever seen Sidekicks with Chuck Norris and the dude from Never Ending Story Part 2?
I did not watch Sidekicks.
Jonathan Brandis, I think his name is.
Jonathan Brandis. I watched Three Ninjas. That was...
That too?
Yep.
Of course. Yeah, I mean, any movie where, like, you're a preteen and can kick the shit out of, like, grown adults, you just enjoy those movies.
Very realistic
It's
things.
very realistic, right? Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the original Karate Kid, I think it's... When I was a kid, I ran around quoting it all the time. I'd always go up to my brother's friends and, like there's another family we'd go camping with, and I'd run up behind them, like, grab the back of their hair, and I'd hold my hand up, and I'd be like, live or die, man. But they'd always play along. I'm like, die. Wrong.
Yeah.
And pinch the nose and all. So, yeah, I love those movies. And the fact that Cobra Kai has been out for 5 seasons.
Yeah.
It's something that warms my heart.
It does. They turn them out, too.
Yeah. Yeah, they crank these things out.
Waste no time.
I feel like the 4th season just got really, less than a year ago or something.
Well, to be fair, it probably doesn't take that long to produce these things.
True.
Yeah. There's no special effects or anything. Mm-hmm. It's just
choreography
and stuff like that. Oh, what did you think of the remake of The Karate Kid with Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan?
I never saw that.
You did it? Was it sacrilege to you?
Yeah. I was not a fan. I had several issues with that movie, which led me to not want to see it. One is nepotism, and I think Jaden Smith sucks balls.
He probably does.
At acting. And
that's what I meant too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I felt he was too young for that. If they wanted to remake it, I probably would have given it a chance. His age was the biggest deal breaker for me, because I think he was supposed to be 12. He looked like he was 10, and all the other kids looked like they were 10. And then I see in the trailer Jackie Chan beating the shit out of a bunch of 10-year-olds. And I'm like, that kind of loses some effect. Granted, it's a hilarious scene, because I never thought I'd see Jackie Chan beat the shit out of a bunch of 10-year-olds, which he didn't beat him up. He whatever.
Yeah. But, no, Jay, they actually beat up 10-year-olds when they made that movie.
Well, I think he like redirected their blows. And all that crap. But and he moved to China, and like everything that was relatable with the first one, they completely threw away. Yeah, he moved to a different location. Yeah, it's China. How many kids can relate to moving to a foreign country?
Right. And not fitting in?
Yeah, and not fitting in. Different state? Sure. But then trying to draw those parallels of language barriers and customs and more like cultural mores and all that, like trying to navigate all that stuff, especially at 10, and you're getting bullied and you want to learn. It felt like they were, I don't know. I just felt like Will Smith wanted a job for his son, and
you're not wrong.
Yeah, it was
a hit.
Not a fan.
And then they made another movie.
Did what?
They did. Not Karate Kid Part 2, but Will Smith and Jaden Smith.
Oh yeah.
Off the success of Karate Kid.
Yeah. Was it a hit?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, it made a lot of money.
Ugh.
For sure. That's what got After Earth greenlit.
Ugh. I thought it was still just on Will Smith's coattails and goodwill.
No, I think M. Night Shyamalan wrote that After Earth script like a decade before. He's had it on the shelf. And then he just sent it to Will Smith. It's like, oh, I think this would be... I've been wanting to make this movie.
Did you watch After Earth?
I did.
Yeah, I didn't. You know why?
Well, good. Good for you.
Because Jaden Smith...
he was not good in it.
Sucks balls.
Yeah.
At acting.
He wasn't good in it.
Because he's not
that
a good
story's
actor.
Stupid anyway.
Yeah.
It was a dumb story.
I'm not for punching down on kids because they're usually taller than me. But yeah, the poor kid should never have been in acting. And I think he did it obviously because of his daddy, but what was it? The Pursuit of Happiness. people were like, "Oh, he was good in that," and I was like, "No, he wasn't. He was a 4-year-old kid whining, wanting to go home, and they just happened to get it on film."
Right.
And I was like, there was no dimension to him. There was no. Anyways, but
wow, just keep ragging on 4-year-olds, Jay.
God, just
Jeez.
one.
Just him,
Smith.
huh? He's doing all right.
Well, of course.
I know. No crocodile tears for Jaden Smith, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, he'll be okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, the remake never had the desire to see it. I was bitter when that came out. I was like, what the fuck are they doing? And then in the back of my mind is like, Jesus, are they going to do this to Back to the Future? And
it's going to happen, Jay.
No, it won't. I will rip my face in half.
It's going to happen.
Yeah. Not until Bob Gale and Robert Zemeckis die and their kids.
Oh, the clock's ticking. The clock is ticking.
But, so anyways.
Yeah.
On to better properties.
Yes.
Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai.
Which Will Smith is an executive producer because I'm pretty sure he still had the rights in some
He
form
did.
or another, and so he gets a no-show producer credit.
Yep, him and his production partner John Lasseter. They own. They started Overbrook Entertainment, and they bought the rights to the Karate Kid. Yeah. Yep.
Well, I'm glad they sold it. Good job, Will Smith.
Yes.
You get an F for casting your son and all that bullshit, but
Yep.
you get an A for giving the TV show rights to these guys. But
I don't know if they own the movie rights. They probably do. I don't know.
Maybe there was a couple of interviews I saw because I binged this on Saturday, season 5 when it came out, and was it this past Saturday? It was a week ago Saturday.
Yeah.
And then I started watching interviews and everything else with the actors and everything, and of course they're playing coy or whatever, but when they ask about a movie, they say, well, I feel like that's kind of leading up to that, right? I mean, maybe. Of course, actors who know, like, they throw out shit all the time trying to get interest or public interest to say, oh, yeah, do a movie.
A Cobra Kai movie? In them? Okay.
So.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Just make another season.
Well, I think they will.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah, I know.
But no, if you're listening to this, I'm sure you've watched all the seasons by now. But yeah, going into the 5th season, and we'll kind of talk about the show as a whole. Going to the 5th, I thought it was going to be the last season.
I did too.
I thought I had read something that the 5th season was going to be the last one.
That's what I read too.
And then in the last 2 episodes of this season, more storylines started popping up, and I was like, wait a minute. Oh, they're gonna have. I was like, then because I was in episode 9, and they started creating more storylines. I was like, Jesus, they're gonna have a lot to cover. I wonder if the last episode's like 2 hours or something. Like
Right.
But it was a little longer. It was like 50 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah. So now, I mean, especially then the season ended, and I was like, they're gonna do another one.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the popularity of this, I think it was number 1 on Netflix for a while. It was number 1 last time I was on Netflix or something.
Yep.
But
very popular.
yeah. So
it's got to be right behind Stranger Things, right? In terms of popularity on Netflix.
See,
I think so.
You mean as far as overall
just like
audience?
Yeah, viewership and
of
streaming.
all Netflix properties?
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I can't. I'm
Can't
trying
think
to
of
think of
anything else.
another Netflix show that.
Yeah, I read an article that normally, the lifespan of Netflix shows, most of them are only 2 seasons. Something about, in particular, like Cobra Kai, and they also revived Lucifer and, what was the other show they were talking about? Anyway, if they fail on one network, Netflix will buy the property and then give it another season to run or whatever. And then the reason they do that is because they want to end it because they don't want to. They don't have the rights to like merchandising.
Mm-hmm.
And then once it gains popularity, then they have to pay writers more. They have to pay the actors more, the producers more, and and not receiving anything on the back end for like merchandise or any of that stuff, any extra profit. So they just cut their losses.
They don't do physical media, so they can't.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean,
unless it's something crazy popular like Stranger Things, or I mean this.
Yeah. Hopefully, if I will unsubscribe from Netflix's principal if they cancel this.
Well, hopefully they don't because they produce seasons 4 and 5, so they're at the 2 season limit here. So we'll see what happens.
Were the first 3 seasons on YouTube?
Yes. They bought the rights to during season 3.
That's
but
right.
YouTube, they already produced it.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
So I don't know. I don't know what Netflix is receiving on the back end for like Cobra Kai merchandise or anything else other than I don't know. I don't know what the business model is for this right now.
yeah. So
I mean, the actors are going to obviously ask for more money, right? It's immensely popular.
you would think, but I don't know. I feel like everyone in the show is just enjoying themselves,
I think so.
and I think they were lured. I mean, obviously, yeah. I think they probably want more money. I mean,
Right.
everyone does at some point.
Yeah.
But I think they are more agreeable to maybe less money. I mean, because none of them really have anything else going on.
Yep.
So it's not like they can jump ship like, oh, Ralph Macchio is now a movie star again.
You're right.
and
You're right. Yeah.
he's got better offers. He doesn't, but he also did this show because he liked where the story was at.
Sure.
And same thing with William Zabka and and I'm sure once it gained popularity, then everyone else was wanting to be involved back in the show again. But
A couple of the other actors have, like that Tanner Buchanan, the guy who plays Robbie. He's had a couple of movies on Netflix.
Flavorite version of Devon Sawa or
Yeah.
Ryder Strong from Boy Meets World,
That's
like every single 90s kid with the hair.
Yep, you're right. Just impossibly good looking.
Yeah. So, all right. So Cobra Kai,
Yep.
everyone knows this, but it follows Johnny Lawrence decades after the 1984 All Valley Karate Tournament bout. A middle-aged Daniel LaRusso and Johnny Lawrence find themselves martial arts rivals again. And that's how it starts. And the show started, I think, in a very interesting way. And YouTube kind of marketed it as such because they released the first 2 episodes for free, and then you had to get YouTube Red if you wanted to continue watching.
Yep.
And the first episode was from Johnny Lawrence's perspective. Second episode, same story, or same period of time, but it was from Ralph Macchio's perspective, which I thought was an interesting take. But I also at the start of the show, it rounded out the characters so well, especially in the first season, and I think they played off of, and this is why I think this has helped grow the story and was one of the keys to the success of Cobra Kai. Was one, they had the original characters, and then they had new characters that you wanted to follow.
Yep.
If any other company wanted to make this, what would have happened was the kids would be always correct, always in the correct way of thinking, and they're always better, and they would be just exceptional at karate, and there would be no struggle, and Johnny Lawrence and Daniel LaRusso would be made to look like assholes.
Right.
Or less than capable, old and slow,
out of touch,
dumb,
yeah.
And they would just shit on those characters.
Yeah.
What this does, and what also Top Gun Maverick did very well, is they didn't shit on those existing characters. The creators of the show knew who their target audience was when creating the show, and the target audience was not teenagers. It was not 20-year-olds. They were 30, 40, 50, whoever enjoyed those movies when they came out, that was their target audience. And what they did was they didn't create new characters at the expense of the old ones. They created new characters complementing the old ones, giving them something to do, and being able to interact.
Yep. And then it morphed into a show that was accessible to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all the way down to teenagers. There's a lot of scenes in it, especially in the later seasons, where it's definitely like a teenage melodrama.
Yeah.
Here and there, but I mean, it's not. It knows what it is, right? The actors know that. I mean, they're not great actors, but they play their part very well. They know what they're in. Yeah. And it works. Mm-hmm. It's not Shakespeare.
Yeah.
That's fine.
And the show's not perfect. It's soapy at some points. It does tug at the heartstrings at times. Mm-hmm. It gets ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, of course.
To where just logic kind of has to be thrown out. And because, I mean, you have people that are in, like, I think Ralph Macchio just turned 60.
Yeah.
And he looks like he's 40.
Yeah.
And then
what's that guy put on his skin? Like some sort of like tear baby cream?
I think he milks the blood out
Is that what he
of
does?
baby seals and then just moisturizes.
The man is just smooth as a baby's ass.
Yeah. Which I wonder, I'm sure he has gray hair. Like, I'm sure his whole head.
Do you think he dyes it?
Oh, God, he has to. I mean, because I feel like if he dyed or if he just has like natural gray hair, I feel like he'd probably look maybe 45, 48.
Yeah, probably.
But no, I mean, he looks phenomenal for his age.
Yeah.
But enough me crushing, but
yeah, stop it.
Oh.
You weirdo.
Yeah.
I think Zabka looks like I was looking at the stills of him in Karate Kid 1, and they look like different people.
Yeah.
But Macchio doesn't. Macchio looks pretty much the same for the most part. Yeah, he's older, but that's the same guy. Zabka, I'm not really. I mean, I could tell maybe like a cousin or something, but
yeah, and I think it's his hair.
You think so? Yeah, it's not like beach blonde.
Yeah,
and wavy.
He had that weird comb curl thing that in the front, and
yeah.
I mean, he was really. He was. He's like he's like 17, 18 when he made that movie, because I think Ralph Macchio is older than him by like 3 or 4 years. Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, he looks good too.
Yeah. Can we talk about how good William Zabka is in this show?
Absolutely.
My God. Yeah, like you were talking on the emotional beats, and Zabka has a bunch of them, and it's kind of shocking the kind of depth he has as an actor at times, where it comes out of left field. Like, Jesus, where'd that come from? I haven't seen him in anything other than the Karate Kid.
He was in
this.
What was it? Back to School.
Yep.
And that's the only other thing
that's like 80s.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was
90s,
all
2000,
80s
like
and stuff.
It's like he took a 30-year break from acting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you get typecasted as the blonde.
Yeah,
dick.
bully.
Yeah.
The blonde dick. Yeah.
But no, I mean, I think he does a great job at the role. He nails being the lovable idiot.
Yeah.
At times, and I like how they did his character to where, because when the show came out, I mean, it still is now, everything's PC.
Yep.
And he's not at all. He's crass. He just speaks his mind just because the life that he's had, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
And he is so out of touch that I think, and they play off of that well to where it doesn't come off as cruel. It's just he's a man of his time.
Right.
Like that's where he came from, and that he never got out of high school. So
right. It's like they literally transported him from 1984 and plucked him into this situation.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
you're right. He's not cruel at all.
Yeah.
In the show.
Yeah. Again, because which is a nice line to walk, because he could easily come off as an asshole.
Sure.
But he doesn't. He's just oblivious, because he doesn't really have prejudice. It's just more like the only thing he cares about from other people is what they're willing to put into effort as far as getting something done.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I think his character is they've done a great job with him, because he was so one note in the movies. He had that little bit at the end of the first movie to where he handed Daniel the trophy, and he's like, "Oh, there you go."
Yep.
What
do you think of that? Do you think there's a debate going on whether or not Zabka was an actual asshole and Daniel kind of instigated the whole thing?
So I think I talked about this before. I went and saw The Karate Kid when they re-released it, and I brought a guy from work. He had never seen it. And his whole take was, Daniel's a dickhead. Like, he kind of deserved it or whatever.
Right.
And looking at it from the lens now, yes, because I think society has changed to a point to where retaliation is now frowned upon. To where in the 80s, Daniel had got roughed up on the beach, and he didn't leave well enough alone. And he wanted to he wanted a little bit of revenge, which everyone can relate to.
Sure.
And I think some people still do today.
Yeah.
But as far as storytelling and what heroes do, like being that petty, I don't think is very common anymore. But I think that's another good thing, is because these show creators didn't ignore that either.
Yeah.
They mention it in the earlier seasons. They bring up other fan theories, such as, Daniel shouldn't have won because he kicked Johnny Lawrence in the face. They bring that up repeatedly.
Yeah.
And they did a good job of not ignoring what the fans of those stories were talking about. They incorporated it into the story.
So they listen to the fans.
Oh,
wow. Oh, wow.
Man.
Novel idea. It's really that easy, folks. It really is. No, and you feel for him, too, in this show, because, Daniel's got his life together. He's got a successful business. He's got a beautiful family. Zapka's got shit. He's a deadbeat dad at this point. He doesn't have any future prospects. He's just fucked over, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you're rooting for the guy a little bit.
Yeah, and you're rooting, and you're not necessarily rooting against Daniel, but you're still seeing that side of Daniel, the pettiness from Daniel, even in adulthood, to where he's talking with his cousin and his cousin's friend at the dealership, and he's like, I didn't kick his butt. I kicked his face. Because now he's at the point in his life to where he's so dominating over Johnny Lawrence, to where he's still kind of like prodding him a little bit because he was hurt so much as a kid, but now the roles have reversed, and he kind of enjoys that a little bit at the beginning of the seasons.
Yeah.
Which I love that they put in there, because they don't make these characters black and white. I mean, they're portrayed as humans, and no one's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Lawrence isn't always in the right. Neither is Ralph Macchio or Daniel LaRusso. But they portray them having flaws, not having all the answers, which I think speaks a lot to the more adult audience, because you get those scenes with Daniel LaRusso talking to Miyagi's grave, to where I thought when I was going to be your age, I'd have all the answers. And when he's struggling with his kids and everything else, they're still making the stories relatable while not diminishing the characters. They're just giving them new challenges for them to overcome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, Johnny, I think he's his character. I think he's one of the best parts of the show, especially when they have Johnny be Johnny. And
he's got some nuggets of wisdom in there.
Oh yeah,
that I just love.
Yeah,
I wish more people would say. But I told you this. I think Johnny Lawrence in this show is one of my top 10 favorite TV characters of all time.
Of all time?
All time. I love it. He makes me laugh every time.
He is very. It's a very funny character.
It
very
is.
Engaging.
It's just funny.
Yeah.
I was telling people this weekend that have never seen it. I'm like, you will like it. It is funny.
Mm-hmm.
Above all else, I can say that it's funny, and you will laugh at it. I swear to God, you will. And they don't. They're like, it's a kid show. I'm like, yeah, it's got melodrama in there. It's got some teenage stuff. Yeah, but it's fine because it balances it out with the adult stuff. Yeah. And I mean, Zapka's just great in it, and it's worth it. If he has one scene with one quip, it makes the episode worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's hilarious.
What do you have examples of?
I do.
Oh.
Let's listen to some.
All right.
Just quit bitching at me.
What did you just call me?
No. I didn't call her a bitch. I said she was bitching at me. You're firing me because of that bitch? You've trained hard. You've gotten stronger, tougher, faster. You've done your best. You're ready for this tournament, am I right?
Yes, Sensei!
Wrong!
Have you seriously never owned a computer before?
Yeah, I'm not a nerd. I kicked the shit out of a bunch of assholes who deserved it. Wait, what's wrong with it?
What do you mean? What do you think? I sell lemons?
I don't trust you.
Come on now, take it easy. This car isn't technically yours yet.
Relax, Danielle.
You want me to flash my bits? That'll cost you extra.
No, that's the opposite of what I want. Nobody wants to see your bits. Just take the sign. See, what is the problem, Mr. Diaz?
No problem, Sensei. You punched me. I have asthma, so...
Not anymore. We do not allow weakness in this dojo. So you can leave your asthma and your peanut allergies and all that other made-up bullshit outside. Is that understood? Yeah!
Come on, Tits, you can do better than that. You got weight, use it. Ready?
Yeah! Hey, Lip. Yeah, you, the one with the freaky lip. Who do you think I'm talking to? All right, you hear that lip? If you can't handle someone making fun of you, how are you gonna handle an elbow to the teeth? You one of those challenged kids?
The doctor said I could be on the spectrum.
I don't know what that is, but get off it pronto, all right?
That's just a taste. It's so good. Yeah. When he's oblivious to like current culture stuff like that, and he just, you know, he's oblivious to it. It's comedy gold.
Yeah. The looking back on the show as a whole,
yeah,
and because kind of it's, I've only watched it. Jeez, frog. I've only watched it all the way through once. I can't remember if I've gone back and watched the earlier seasons before like season 3 came out or something like that to remember. But as far as the earlier seasons, what have been your favorite parts?
I was thinking about that. So I think my favorite season still is the first one, just because I like it focuses on Johnny for the most part throughout the majority of the season, and then you have scenes like that where he's starting to get Cobra Kai back up, and he's got those quippy one-liners, and he still has that. He's still feuding with Daniel, which in the later seasons he's not necessarily feuding with him anymore. They're kind of on the same team. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think I liked that aspect of the show the most, is him figuring out what he's good at and what he's comfortable with, and I think season 1 does it the best that I remember. It's been a while since I've seen the first one, but I do remember just laughing so hard.
Yeah.
I just wasn't expecting it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed season 1 as well. I feel like though they didn't know if it was going to be successful or not, and so I think they wanted to create something that would stand on its own. If they didn't get a chance to do season 2, one of my favorite things about the show for me is when they do callbacks to the other movies.
Yep.
Because they handle it, I feel like, with so much class, and it makes sense story-wise. It doesn't feel out of the ordinary, like, oh, here's so-and-so randomly. They actually put effort to actually have these characters weave into the story. Like when they brought back Allie.
Yeah, that was done really well.
Yeah, felt really right. And I was wondering how they were going to do that with Daniel and his wife being there. And they handled it like adults.
Like adults.
And to where his wife kind of understood, like, oh, yeah, he probably still has in some form or another, some kind of like childhood feelings for her.
Right.
Or like a slight twinge or whatever. But obviously it's like
nothing that's going to dissolve their marriage.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's not going to threaten their life or do anything like that. And in the way that Allie and Johnny Lawrence interacted, I thought was great. It wasn't going to be some corny, oh, they're going to end up together kind of a thing. It was just, it was still, that character was brought in to facilitate growth among the characters.
Yep.
I really enjoyed it when Daniel went back to Okinawa, and because there was something wrong with his dealership. His dealership was having some kind of financial troubles, and he was kind of between a rock and a hard place, and he'd gone to Okinawa for something, but met up with Kumiko, and then she put him in touch with Chosen, and then you have that, oh shit, like, is it gonna, and then you realize Chosen grew up too.
Yep.
And to where he now has respect for Daniel because he didn't, it helped Chosen not throw his life away.
Yeah.
And I like how it's not just more of the same to where, now he's got Chosen as a villain and stuff like that, to where a lot of people that interacted with Daniel have grown just as most people do.
Yeah, like adults.
Like adults typically do.
Even Johnny's friends that he meets up with throughout the seasons, right? From the old gang from the first movie, they're all grown up. Yeah. And they moved on with their lives.
Yep. Yeah, one's like a reverend or a pastor or something. And
yep. And in season 5, the one guy owns a furniture store.
Yeah,
that
Mike
was
Barnes.
pretty cool, yeah.
And
yeah,
I like how they handle that. And what my favorite instance is, like when he felt like he lost all hope, that he was having lunch with Kumiko, and she brought in another woman, and Daniel didn't recognize her, and she pretty much stated that she was going to bail him out, as far as like give him the partnership with whatever other company he was looking for. And it turned out that was a girl that he saved in the tsunami or typhoon or whatever it was. And like how they brought that in there to where it's done so well. And that was such a minor character that I didn't expect coming in. Really enjoyed that. But yeah, whenever bringing in Mike Barnes, they bring in not the love interest, but I'm spacing on the name from part 3, the friend.
From season 5.
Yeah, in season 5, that's the cousin of his wife.
Yeah,
and that then you get backstory. Oh, that's how they met.
And
it feels a lot more organic instead of just shoehorned in to where let's bring in these characters. So, but it feels, it works with the story as opposed to just feeling like normal fan service.
Right.
Like, hey, remember me?
Right. Well, and the villains are great in it. Like, Kreese is great, and Terry Silver.
Yeah.
Come on. I didn't even watch the third one, and when he was introduced in season 4, I mean, I don't know what it is about that guy, that actor. He just plays it so well. He's like tailor-made for a kind of corny, cheesy TV show that doesn't take itself way too seriously. And him being the villain of it, he's just perfect.
Yeah, he does a great job. He's younger than Ralph Macchio, by the way.
Is he?
Yeah. A little side trivia for you.
God, what's his name? I gotta look it up because he's great.
And
Thomas Ian Griffith.
Yes.
Sir, bravo. You're great. Did you like, so in terms of season, what was your favorite one, do you think?
Honestly,
maybe not your favorite, just the one that sticks out the most.
It sticks out, I would say 1, 3, and 5.
1, 3, and 5?
Just because we just finished watching it. I think next season has some like huge potential. I like Chosen a lot.
Yeah,
I loved him in season 5. He was just his ninja assassin. Like
yeah.
But I would say 1, 3, and 5.
Yeah,
probably stand out the most to me.
Do you think it got too intense at the end there of season 5 with the swords and cutting people up?
See, and I'm glad it doesn't take itself too seriously because if it did, I feel like Chosen would have died. And I was watching it. I was like, no, he didn't die. That'd be way too much of a downer.
Yeah.
For that character, especially since he left the phone message on Kumiko's phone. Saying that, I should have taken you with me, which is another thing the show does. They reuse lines from the movies. I should have taken you with me was something that Miyagi said to his love interest in part 2 when he was talking to her about when he left America.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there's a lot of these small lines that they've used again, but they use them in different ways or in a similar situation, but it doesn't feel like it's copying because, I mean, diehard fans will probably like pick it out and be like, oh,
Yep.
That's what Mr. Miyagi said to somebody else,
but someone like me who's only seen it a couple times,
it doesn't come off as like that was weird.
Yeah.
Why would they say that?
But, but I like season 5 a lot. That's a close second.
Yeah, I enjoy the ridiculousness. I mean, because what was the season the kids broke into the house and they were having this all-out brawl, and was that at the end of season 3?
I think it was the end of season 3. Yeah,
and
they're breaking and entering into and having a fight.
Just like 20 people against 20 people, and destroying LaRusso's house, and everyone would be arrested. Everyone would have been arrested a long time ago.
For sure.
I think Daniel would have been sued a long time ago.
For child endangerment.
Yeah. And so
CPS would have came and picked up his kids a long time ago.
Yeah, it is ridiculously over the top, but it's fun because you kind of have to keep escalating it a little bit. So that doesn't bother me as much.
Right.
Because, I mean, you have instances where this girl they introduced her character. I'm spacing on her name, but she was in one of the dojos that got bought out this year, and then Tori was kind of training her, and they bring in this badass sensei with her team from Okinawa, and then at the end of the season, she's able to hold her own against this master sensei.
Yeah, I know.
And I was like, no. And then you have like all these super devoted senseis dedicated their entire life to karate, and you have Johnny Lawrence taking on 6 of them at one time, which I love that. And because I almost spoiled it for you because I didn't read the text fully when I asked you if you'd finished it yet, and you said Johnny Lawrence is probably one of my favorite characters, and I almost texted you back, oh, I knew you would like that fight scene at the end. And then I reread it again. You mentioned that you had 2 left. You were on episode 7 or something. And I was like, oh, I'm glad I didn't send that.
Yeah,
but,
I would have killed you.
Yeah. But I like that over the topness.
Yeah.
To where in this universe, once you know about 5 minutes of karate, that's all you need.
That's all you need.
You got the gist, and then you can just kind of...
You're Hill Valley champion.
Yeah.
After training for 3 months.
Yeah.
Like Miguel.
Mm-hmm.
Miguel was training for 3 months, and he's Hill Valley champion.
But I don't mind it. It works very.
It does
in that universe.
I do. I love the first couple of seasons too, ending on a tournament like the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I just like that.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. It's kind of nostalgic.
Season 6 will more than likely end in that worldwide.
I thought it was going to end on the worldwide tour thing when they were selected. I was like, oh, okay, they're going to go on they're going to compete, and that's how the season's going to end or whatever. And Cobra Kai, because I thought it was going to be the last season, so I thought, okay, so Daniel, Miyagi-Do's going to win, and Cobra Kai is, gone forever, and Miyagi-Do takes over the world or whatever the case may be. By the way, how ridiculous is that plot? Like Terry Silver, my master plan is to have Cobra Kai, world domination, karate does everywhere.
Yeah, this guy's a multi-millionaire, decamillionaire, billionaire or something, and he's very focused, which I like what they did with his character because he was over all that bullshit because John Kreese was out of his life. And he had that element. And then it just shows how his mind slowly went back.
Yeah, back to the old swing of things.
And reverted, and he let that part of himself take over again.
Yeah. Like you said, over the top stuff, and then Kreese taking over as like the big daddy in jail.
Yeah,
okay.
And I'm watching this. I'm like, an 80-year-old man. I don't.
Yeah, nah. Definitely not. Call him sensei.
I think it made sense to have his younger self. Fighting because
it would have looked kind of ridiculous.
I mean, he's in his 80s. I think,
know,
and he's it'd be difficult to show. It'd be another Robert De Niro Irishman.
Oh, Irishman.
So
one of the worst scenes in cinematic history is The Irishman.
You don't like the T-Rex arms as he was...
Oh, my God. Awful.
Yeah. If you guys don't know what we're talking about,
YouTube
you
it.
Want to watch, just YouTube Robert De Niro, Irishman.
Curb
fighting.
stomp.
Yeah. Curb tap.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So, season 5, they need to come up with the name for between Eagle Fang and Miyagi-Do.
Yeah.
For the tournament because they'll only allow one. Cobra Kai looks like it's going to be run by the granddaughter of the sensei Kundo. I'm spacing on his name. The sensei that taught Kreese and Silver. So it looks like she's probably going to head up Cobra Kai. I don't know what they're going to do with Kreese.
I don't either.
Busted out of jail.
Yeah.
I was talking about it with my brother. It's like it's not like he can do anything. He's got to be in hiding. He's a fugitive.
Yeah.
And even though, Terry Silver did all the crimes he was incarcerated for, you still can't escape jail. It's like, oh, well, he didn't do anything anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
But they might just do that in the show to where, oh, yeah, there you go. We'll let you go.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
Do you have any predictions for season 6? Because I think season 6 is supposed to be the final
final one?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't. Not right now. It's got to end on that tournament, I would think. It's just kind of like the movie, kind of like, parallel it up and, bookend it pretty well. But no, I have no idea. I don't think anyone's going to die. I don't.
No,
it's not that kind of show. I don't think it's going to do that.
This thought occurred to me, I think, a day or two after I finished binging it. And my prediction is at the tournament, there's going to be some instance or a category or something's going to happen to where Johnny Lawrence can compete.
Okay.
And he wins.
I like that idea.
And I think that's my theory, or my
kicking a 17-year-old in the face.
Yeah. But no, I think they'll have like an adult division or something.
Oh, okay.
To
All
where like a sensei tournament or something
like
it's
that.
tied.
It's a tiebreaker.
Oh,
then you
gotta
off.
get the senseis to
It's a sensei
fight.
off.
And so you've got to kick the woman in the face.
That's not gonna happen. Maybe it's the
punch her in the ovaries.
Right.
The ovary punch.
Yeah. Like the silver punch.
Yeah.
It's just with the pinky instead.
Yeah. Instead of man can't breathe, he can't fight. It's a woman that pisses blood can't fight. So it's just right in the kidney.
Yeah, they won't do that. It's gonna be her dad, whoever the sensei is.
I think he's dead.
He's gonna come out of hiding.
He's gonna pop out of the grave.
It's gonna be the 90-year-old. Yeah.
But I think that I feel like that's how they may end it, to where
I like that
he becomes some grand champion or something like
Okay.
that, because the beginning of the season he was still getting beaten up for losing that tournament that one time.
Right.
So,
And I think it gets to the point too, or it might end where Johnny Lawrence is in charge of like Miyagi Fang or whatever they're going to call it, and Danny goes back to selling cars because he had a good life, and then this is Johnny's thing. It's his purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You'd see that
I'd be fine with that too.
Yep. The what don't you like about this show?
Ooh, what don't I like? I wouldn't say I don't like it. It's just the over the topness of just the conflicts in it. Like the whole the seasons from season 4 to season 5, like we got to get Cobra Kai back, and it's like why? Karate's not a thing anymore nowadays. It's like MMA.
Yeah.
Maybe boxing, but karate just isn't a thing anymore. And the idea that you could have world domination or control over a local community or a city
With
based
dojos.
off with a dojo, a karate,
Brainwashing the
right,
community's
the youth.
children's.
I just don't think kids would be that interested in karate to warrant like the demand for something like that. That's a little ridiculous, but I don't hate it. It's just part of the show.
Yeah.
But I mean, you have to get over that ridiculousness. Like if you're a super serious person and you want super seriousness and like your entertainment, like you're not gonna like this because it's a little ridiculous.
Yeah, I think the only thing for me that bothers me about the show is that a lot of the conflicts between the teens in the show could be easily solved.
Oh, for sure.
With just a simple conversation, which a lot of this shit, I mean, in this show could be. But I mean, with Tori and what's her nut?
Amanda.
Mauser, Amanda. Those two.
I'm sorry, Samantha. Amanda's the wife.
Between Sam and Tori, their whole feud to where as soon as they see each other, what are you? Like they immediately
don't look at me, bitch.
Yeah, go into fight mode, and I'm like, wait, people. I mean, it is over the top, and they just have to draw out the conflict. That's the only thing that slightly irritates me about the show, where it's like, oh my god, these two again. Same thing with Ryder Strong from 1990 and Miguel.
Robbie and Miguel.
Yeah, Robbie and Miguel. Their whole feud to where they're like always at each other's throats, and like I feel like if I was one of those characters, I'd be like, I just don't have the energy to be mad at you today. What's up?
Yeah, exactly. Well, they hash it out at the end there, and they beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah. So.
Other than that, though, I don't really think I have too many negatives about the show. You just have to take it for what it is.
Yeah, I mean,
if you do, it's pretty damn near perfectly executed.
Yeah,
I would think.
It's fun.
Yeah.
And it's very well done. I feel like I just keep saying that, but I mean,
it looks like it was shot on like an iPhone or something, especially the first couple seasons. Like the production value is
very low budget,
very small budget.
Yeah, and they use choreography to their benefit. I do wish there was just. I mean, Johnny has some badass fight scenes or whatever, but I wish Daniel could
keep up. Yeah, but he's old. He's
old,
getting old,
and it's just what it is. But this whole thing should not have been this popular or this good. And
no, I don't think anybody expected it. Lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah,
and I think that it's a testament to if you take care of the characters that people care about, and you show them respect and organically move the story, people will watch anything.
Oh yeah.
When you try, I don't know.
It tailors to a bunch of different age groups too.
Yeah.
Like I watch it for Johnny Lawrence,
Mm-hmm.
because I can relate to that, especially now that I have kids.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm the old man on the the porch yelling at the kids nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand them all the time, but and then when you have the teenage melodrama, I think of like shows I used to watch like Dawson's Creek or
Party
the
of
OC,
5, the OC,
something like that. We're like, okay, now I'm like, okay, this is a little whatever, but like being like a 17 or 16-year-old, I can see it. I can see them liking it and enjoying it.
And I think they write these kids' roles better than some of those shows, because like Gilmore Girls and like Dawson's Creek and stuff, you have everyone. You've mentioned this to where kids don't talk like that, but kids want to be able to talk like that.
I think that was the line from the creators.
Yeah, they don't do that in this.
No.
They talk like kids.
Yes.
And they jump to conclusion like kids.
They rationalize like kids.
They rationalize like kids. They're not having these eloquent conversations about what it means to exist and all this other bullshit. It's very basic. And I feel like they get that right too, because I watch, what was it? Christy watched not 13 Going On, 13 Reasons Why.
Oh yeah.
And every single teenager, I was like, what fucking high school is this?
I know.
I was like, these people do not exist.
Yeah.
And it was written, it was one of those things, I'm going to write children like an adult. And as an adult, I'm like, no one fucking half the adults don't fucking talk that way, let alone 17-year-olds.
Right.
And I think another thing, they just kept it, that aspect of it, they kept very realistic.
That's a good point about like the 13 Reasons Why show. You're right. You may have a situation in a school where like one kid has an issue that was in that show, but in that show all the kids had issues with something, and they were interacting with each other, which is not real life.
Mm-hmm.
This, it's like like jealousy. Friends feeling that they got betrayed because they're hanging out with somebody else, and then that's pretty much it. It's like jealousy and feeling that your friends betrayed you for hanging out with somebody else. Yep. Those are literally the two basic emotions that you grew up with. Everybody relates to. Everybody
and
does
thinking
that.
you either have to be on this side of the line or that side of the line.
Exactly. It's that simple.
You have to be with us or you're against us kind of a thing. And,
Yeah. And getting along with your parents. There's the third thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
So
pretty simple.
Yep. But one thing, something else this show does, this show is very diverse.
It is very diverse.
And you know what I hear people saying about this because of the diversity?
What, that they hate it? I don't
No,
know.
you don't hear them say anything.
Oh, they don't hear him say anything. That's
you know
right.
why? Because the story's fucking good.
That's right. Yeah.
And the show is good.
Yeah.
And they didn't shit on the franchise. So if this was a piece of shit, so let's just throw something out there, like let's say Disney made this, and they came out with this. Yeah, hypothetically, let's just say Disney made this.
Yeah.
First of all, they would immediately shit on all the characters. So Daniel and Johnny would be pieces of shit, and the kids would be, as I said before, always correct or always shown in a positive light, not having any real challenges. All of them are just natural-born karate masters, and this show would suck balls, and then Disney would come out and say, you're racist. You don't like it because Sam is a main character, and she's a girl, and you have Miguel, and he's Hispanic, and and you don't like it because blah. No, it's because the story sucked.
Yeah.
And now you have something complete 180. it's not a complete 180, but total on the opposite side of the spectrum to where it's very diverse cast and no one's talking shit about it because the story is
because
good.
they like it.
And you know what? No one gives a fuck about the diversity because they can get lost in the story like everything else.
Yeah,
and
it's amazing.
Yeah, I like just.
How does that work?
I don't know. I hope other studios or other owners of IP just take note on how this is done very, very well.
Yeah.
To where you can blow up the story, and when I say blow up, you can expand the story, add all these new characters, and still maintain, be faithful to the original. You don't have to shit on it to try and get a younger audience.
Yeah.
And that's how you expand the fan base of a property or appeal to the original fans while getting new fans. And because I don't know. I've never seen or heard of a video online or anything of anyone talking shit about this show. Like, as far as not liking it. I mean, I'm sure some people don't like it.
Right.
But
you would come off as phony. Like, you would have to. I would love to hear someone that despises the show.
Yeah, you would.
What
you
do
would have
you
to try.
Right, you would have to try.
Yeah.
It's like someone saying, I didn't like Forrest Gump.
Mm-hmm.
What didn't you like about it? Tom Hanks sucked.
Yeah. Like,
really?
Yeah.
You sure? Was it the heartwarming characters? What was it? What did you hate about it? Yeah, it's.
Yeah, that's a good example. The the only thing they could say is like, oh, it's too over the top. It's not realistic. Well, yeah, it's not supposed to be.
Right. What isn't?
But it's all right because you get to be a kid again when you watch this show.
Yep.
And but I think it's great. I hope a lot of IP owners of other IP properties just take note, which I don't think they will, but I am forever amazed every time I watch a new season of this, to where I was like, this should suck so hard.
Yeah.
But it doesn't.
It doesn't. You know what else had a very diverse cast and no one really mentions it at all?
What's that?
Top Gun Maverick.
Oh.
Watch it again. With the eye of diversity.
Yeah, because Phoenix.
Warlock.
Yeah.
Everyone else besides Rooster and Hangman, they're not white.
Yeah. Tom Cruise.
Well, obviously Tom Cruise. And then look in the control room when Maverick's doing Mach 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only seen it once, so
you don't notice it because you're
lost in the story.
You're lost in the story
because the shit doesn't matter.
It doesn't. It doesn't. No.
It's like, as long as you have good characters and just a good story, people are gonna love to watch it.
Yeah.
Because that's why people watch things. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't watch things. And I didn't want to have this get like turn into a political thing, but they don't watch shit to. I mean, I don't know. That'd be a shitty existence to where, oh, I want to watch this because this is dog shit.
Yeah.
But I'm going to watch this because so and so is a particular skin color.
Right. They look like me.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
this show does a great job with Johnny Lawrence. Like there's a bunch of like one-liners when he I think he answers the phone call one time where he's trying to get applicants to Cobra Kai, and he's like, "Gender what?" Just when he when like one of the younger kids confronts him about some like or a Gen Z topic or whatever subject matter, he plays like stupid, like I don't know what you're talking about, in like such a funny way.
Like that sounds fucking stupid.
Right.
Whatever, get over there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Stop giving me excuses.
Yep. Like the Clipper is like, I have autism. I'm on the spectrum or whatever. No, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
But
You better get off it right now.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, but this show's great. I'd recommend it if you haven't watched it. It's one of the best shows out right now, for sure. It's just fun.
Yeah, I mean, especially we've probably ruined all the seasons for you, but no,
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, they've already seen it.
It
so,
doesn't. And it doesn't matter.
But yeah, this is good.
I'm looking on IMDb right now, Jay. It's number 200 of the top-rated TV shows of all time on IMDb. Number 200.
It's pretty good.
It's not bad. 8.5. That's fair, right?
Pretty good.
It's pretty fair.
It's fantastic. I'm gonna be sad when it ends, but when it does end, I know immediately I'm going to be binging
it all over
the
again.
Movies, and then watch everything. I mean, it's
get your Cobra Kai T-shirt.
Same thing with like Harry Potter. The way that was like really the first movie that I was amazed, and I touched a little bit earlier in this recording. Changing actors midway through a franchise. If they did Harry Potter in like the late 80s, early 90s, they would have changed actors a couple of times. Hell, they can't even do it with Fantastic Beasts without changing the actor every other time.
Yeah.
For Grindelwald, but the fact
that's because Depp Depp has some issues. He's got some issues.
But the fact that the same actors are in this show.
Yeah.
They have the same time. It's like 30 years ago or 40 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
When these movies first came out, they came back to it's this TV show is an example of why I feel like we're kind of living in the best timeline for entertainment, is the fact that we can take these beloved things that we liked when we were kids and have the story continue in a respectable way, and have the same characters play those roles again.
Right. Listen to the fans. Incorporate that in your storytelling, right?
Yeah. Create an engaging story.
Relatable.
Create engaging characters.
Yeah.
And
real issues, relatable.
Yeah.
Make it funny.
Yep.
Yeah.
And don't take yourself too seriously. You're
No.
not curing cancer. You don't have to I've never felt like the show preached at all.
Oh,
Which
no,
is another
definitely
thing. Like it doesn't feel like the writers are writing, and everything just feels so in tune with that world, and everything feels like it makes sense, even though you have some most just batshit crazy things happening. You're like, I get it. All right.
You can tell they're having fun.
Yeah,
making it,
and that definitely comes through. Like you could just tell. Yeah, my brother brought that up. He said. He's like, you could just tell everyone in that show is just having a fucking ball.
Yeah.
Just being in that show.
Oh, for sure. Well, they better make season 6, Jay. I'll be disappointed.
No, if they don't, I'm canceling Netflix.
Are you? Yeah. Well, they're coming out with the ad tier here soon. It's happening, and they're going to do weekly releases now, starting next year. So we're not going to get Cobra Kai all at once.
Well, I think I'd be okay with that.
It
would be.
They have no choice.
It'd be painful. Like I'd be irritated because I kind of like just blocking out.
Yeah.
Because I binged this in a hotel room. I had nothing to do. I was done with work, and I was like, what the hell am I gonna do? I was like, fucking Cobra Kai came out. And because I think you texted me when I was out of town, and I was like, oh shit.
Boom. I figured it out.
Yep. Went down
to
the hotel lobby. I got I think some.
Jay's like, I got a box of tissues.
Some tea. Got a box of tissues. A big old jar of lotion. Skittles, Starburst, and a bag of jalapeno potato chips.
Making all the right choices.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, highly recommend.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to season 6. I'll be sad when it finally ends. I just hope they end the story and it doesn't get canceled before they can end the story.
Yeah, I know.
If they want to go past season 6, I'm okay with that.
Yep. Well, it's going to come out, in March?
Oh, really? Probably.
I mean, just how fast they're going. I think the season 4 came out this year in January.
Yeah,
pretty sure. Yeah, 9 months.
Which I wonder if that was part of a COVID thing.
Might have been.
To where they had to finish up some shots and then they released it because...
Could have been.
But I know there's a couple of shots that they've shot for season 6 already.
Yeah.
At least that's according to some of the actors that... I think Ralph Macchio said, he's like, I know there are scenes that we shot that was not included in this, but has to do with how the story continues.
Okay.
So, But yeah, hopefully season 6 happens. Maybe they could do a Community thing, 6 seasons in a movie.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind. I would not mind more Cobra. That's fine.
That's fine.
If they do another season and then they cap it off with a movie,
Are you good with that?
I'm good with that. They're not gonna. I don't think they'd release it in theaters, but
No.
that'd
I
be
mean,
all
is that a bad idea?
to have Netflix release stuff in theaters?
No, have Cobra Kai like a movie, theatrically released to cap off everything.
It depends, because TV shows and the movies don't usually work well because it just feels like a long TV episode.
Right.
Like Entourage comes to mind, to where I was waiting for that movie because I'm a bro fuck boy. I love that show.
You love it?
I love it. And
You're such a misogynist.
I
How
am.
could you like Entourage, Jay? You're not allowed
Because
to anymore.
Jeremy Piven's Ari Gold character is how every male should be.
Ideally?
No, literally. So, but when that movie came out, it just felt like a weird long episode, and so I don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah, we will see.
I'm excited.
Yeah, but yeah, great show.
Yep.
I think we're gonna have to talk about probably the Karate Kid trilogy on another podcast. Deep dive.
That's
down
what you
into
want? That's what you want, huh?
That's what I like.
I wouldn't mind watching them again. I haven't seen part 2, and I obviously haven't seen part 3 in a long time.
Part 2, I feel like steps it up very well as far as the character growth. You learn a little bit more about Miyagi. Plus, I mean, what if you watch part 1, you're like, oh, it's a tournament. And then you watch part 2, you're like, oh shit, like, because he's in a different country, and like right before the final fight, you have Mr. Miyagi telling Daniel, like, Daniel, this is not a tournament. This is for real.
Right.
And that I felt like they could have probably done a little bit, like just added more weight to that. Maybe it's just because I've seen it so often when I was young, I didn't pick up the gravity of the situation. So I haven't seen part 2 probably, I don't know, maybe 8 years.
Wow.
So, but
8 years?
I know.
No Karate Kid part 2?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But
Knowing you, that's crazy. I feel like that'd be like a...
maybe 7.
You're like, you know what, February, that's Karate Kid time. And, me and Chrissy just snuggle up. We watch all 3 parts.
She falls asleep 5 minutes in. I'm poking her as I'm like, hey, the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I recommend it.
Yes.
Go out there and watch Cobra Kai. It's worth your time.
Absolutely, it's worth your time. Watch the original movies too, all of them. They're all good, except for the Jaden Smith one because he sucks balls.
Literally?
No, at acting.
At acting,
At
okay.
acting, yeah.
All right.
I don't care what he does on his personal time, as long as his personal time doesn't fuck up movies for me. So, alrighty, well,
Jay.
Matt, join us next time as we discuss House of Dragon episodes 4 and 5.
Correct.
And Matt will then tell us how long he's had a crush on his uncle, as to keep with the theme of
Right.
House of the Dragon.
With House of the Dragon.
Yeah. So, but hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget you can comment on our episodes and write to our email, our website, acastwithnoname.com, or our email is contact dot. God, I'm reading shit. I can't even. I'm looking at words. How do I read? Our email, contact.acastwithnoname@gmail.com. Email, website, also found in the description of the podcast episode. Did you like Cobra Kai? Are you a fan of it? Are you one of the few people that are not a fan of it? Please tell me why you do not like this show.
Don't be a loser, though.
And yeah, don't just shit on it. But no, if you actually do not like the show, I am genuinely interested as to why.
Right.
And that's if you were a fan. If you're a fan of the original movies and you don't like this show, please tell us why.
Yep.
Because I would love to hear the reasoning. Just because I can't, from my perspective, I can't think of a reason. But I would be genuinely interested in that kind of logic that you would present as far as why you don't like it.
I hated Toy Story.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's like you know what I mean? come on, makes no sense.
Yeah, don't be contrarian. But
Yeah.
But no, if you have legitimate reasons, please, by all means, send them our way, and maybe we'll discuss it a little bit. And we won't call you stupid or anything like that. Matt will, but I won't. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the show. Join us next time.
Till next time, Jay.
Till next time.